Hello everyone. I'm glad to see you, or at least to be with you in this next speaking practice video. And as usual, I I haven't prepared too much to this speaking practice video. It's just a video about a practice in speaking, basically. So there is no script, no preparations, nothing. The one thing that I do is I just ask ChatGPT 10 questions, somewhere in between B2 C1 level of English. And also, I ask him to place these questions um, in a manner of how examinator, examinator, IELTS speaking examinator would do it. And that's actually how I'm preparing myself for the future IELTS test, especially speaking practice part in IELTS test. And how I simply train speaking, yes, because I haven't found speaking partner yet. I think very soon I will start looking for him or for her, doesn't matter. Um, but now I have the opportunity and the possibility to do speaking practice in this way. I do not need anyone to talk with me. I just need ChatGPT, um, ChatGPT, internet, and microphone, and also software in order to record myself. And that's actually all. It's much more convenient and more usable um, than a speaking partner, because I think I don't need to explain why. Now I depend only on myself when I will agree with this, when I will agree on something, at least in time of speaking with a speaking partner. It it thinks that should be arranged. Yes, um, we should put together our plans, find the most comfortable spot for two of us. Then everyone should get on time to the arranged time of meeting. When there is two or more people in an arrangement, there is always some unpredictable things. There are always some factors that might affect it. Uh, it might be everything: motivation, time problems, I know, other problems, or uh, overworking. I mean, in a way that probably I would have a lot of work and wouldn't be able to go on time on a speaking practice with a partner. Yes, there is some inconveniences and inconsistencies in it. And another fact, usually you hardly ever would be able to find someone who would who would be desired to speak with you and practice target language every day. Usually it's something that happened on weekends, twice or once a week. And of course, this is a good experience. This is experience of practice, and this is also very helpful. But these types of practice, like this, like just simply talking with myself in the microphone, I can do as much as I want, and I do not depend on anyone. Yes, that's a benefit of this type of practice. The pro, the pro actually, the con actually is that most of all, I'm only one who producing text. I'm only one who producing speech, and it might be a little boring sometimes. And I can't say that it just in a if we put if I put this in a simple manner, it just not it's just not a real speech practice in the meaning of I don't have someone to talk with me. It's not a speaking in a natural way, in a more natural way. Of course, speaking I'm practicing by pronouncing my thoughts, by explaining something, but of course, the real practice with the real humor, it's a little bit different. It's not only about producing the thoughts, it's also about receiving, understanding, and training this natural pace of speaking. When someone said to you something, you had an idea, you answered to him, he also heard it and make up with idea what to answer. Yes, that's just more natural and more, let's say, haphazard uh, haphazard process that train your mind um, to speak without a lot of preparation, just to generate thoughts on the way of speaking, like, yes, like in a real speech, obviously. And yes, that's actually what I wanted to say, the pros and cons. But for me, the main pros of this type of practice, this is I can do it whatever I want. I don't need anyone to do it, and I think it brings me results. Yes, I think I every speaking video like this, I speak better and better. It's not always, uh, it's not always precisable, I could say, for a listener, because my accent pauses, some kind unnecessary words that I use, repeating myself, mistakes that I do, of course. Someone who might be hearing me on this on the, so someone who might be hearing my voice on these videos might don't perceive the difference, for example, from the first and to the last, but I see the difference, and mostly feel the difference, because with every new video I just speak more and more confidently. Of course, I might do not um, wide I might do not expand my vocabulary so much. Of course, I might repeat some old mistakes that I don't even. I might repeat some old mistakes about which I don't even know yet. Yes, of course, it's absolutely in a case. Yes, it's absolutely normal. But what actually is training and what is improving is the ability to confidently express the point. Yes, actually, all the speaking practice is uh, training of how to more confidently express your point. Yes, it's not about haphazardly generation thoughts. It's about deliberate um, opinion giving, yes, or just deliberate answering on questions. Yes, it's also very important. It's a format that would be more suitable for an exam, because it's copy, it pays, and I think it's all. Yes, I feel it's all that I wanted to say. This format helps me speak. Of course, I'm becoming more and more confident in speaking English, but it also has cons, the same as pros. And for me now, pros are overcoming the cons. And in order to how to say it, catch up with cons and also overcover them, I would look for a speaking partner in order not only train this type of speaking practice, but also training the uh, live speaking pace, live speaking rhythm. Yes, according to what I explained earlier and said. Yes, I think you get the point because I have a very bad habit of repeating myself, especially when I'm talking alone. I have a not good. Oh, you hear that I'm repeating myself, my thought. I don't know why I so stick to its habit. Probably because I'm rethinking my thoughts because I have no response with what I'm saying, and I feel this gap by just rethinking what I said, and that's create this repetitive manner of speaking. But as I said, it's okay. It's just a shortcomings of this method. But this method it still works. So let's start. Let's start actually doing practice. Part one: personal questions. Question number one: do you prefer reading books or watching films in your free time? Why? Do you prefer reading books or watching films in your free time? Why? In my free time, I prefer to both things, not exactly simultaneously at the same time, but separately. For example, in one evening, I would love to watch film. In the next evening, or for example, in the same evening, but with a difference, with a gap of 1 hour, for example, or 2 hours, for example. I would love to read book after the film, or just, as I said, split it between 2 days. It's, I think for me, it mostly depends on my desire, what I really want to do in a free time. And for example, for really simple example, like the recent example, today, before the record this speaking video, after I finish daily work plan, I have somewhere in between 1 to 2 hours, and this time I absolutely naturally, authentically spend on reading the book Lord of the Rings. And I don't even think about anything else. Somehow I just somehow knew that I wanted to read a book now, and I just simply go and read book, and that's how I switch it between films, books, or other activity in free time. Just letting myself follow the natural attraction to something that I want to do. The question number two: how important is it for you to have a daily routine? Very important. Very important. I think I just trained myself in a way that, especially on weekdays, I need to have a plan for a day. I need to know what I'm going to do, because if I let's say didn't have a plan, if I didn't have a plan, I would just feel myself a bit unconcentrated, unfocused, and I more how to say it, more likely I would do things in a haphazard manner. In general, I would know what I need to do, but I would do it ineffectively. Yes, just simply ineffectively, and my ability to focus would be really shortened. Yes. That's why I prefer plan all things. I mean, even by hours. How much hour I spent on this? How much hours I spent on that? Just write it in a deliberate plan, and simply at the beginning of the day, just moving sequentially during this daily plan. And in this way, I usually manage to do all things that I wanted. Focus, invest enough focus in everything, and in the end of the day, I feel myself that I've done everything that I wanted, because because simply I had it written on the sheet of paper. Yes, probably not every person work by this method, but I prefer this method. I try different approaches. I try to work just by, natural attraction to things that I wanted to do. I try to work in a hard discipline, and I try to work in a deliberate plan. And for me, I found out that deliberate plan work the best, at least in the weekdays, at least during the weekdays. So yes, for me, it's very important to have a daily routine. If you could, the question number three, if you could change one thing about your hometown, what would it be and why? Oh, very, very interesting question in general, but not the best question for me to answer because um, I'm thinking about, I don't know, about changing is my hometown hardly ever now because most of the time I'm spent at home on studying and all my attention are drawn to the all my attention is is drawn to the English, to Polish, to other things that I learn. All my attention drawn somewhere else, not to this place, to other places. I read English news. I watch English movies. I'm looking for information in English. So all my attention somewhere there. Yes, not bind to this place. That's why it's difficult. Why it would be difficult for me to somehow analyze. Yes, somehow analyze the place where I am. But I can surely say that not only town but the whole country actually would be much more better if there would be there would be put and realized the good management in the all social governmental uh, subjects sphere and how to say it, structures. Yes, because it's my opinion, of course. In my opinion, my town, my country extremely suffer for the lack of proper managing and control in every existing governmental and social structure. Yes, everything works just worse, that everything works much more worse that it might have been worked. Yes, that is my opinion, and that's what I would have changed. So we come to part two, cue card. Describe a hobby you enjoy doing in your free time. Describe a hobby you enjoy doing in your free time. You should say what the hobby is, how long you have been doing it, why you enjoy it, and explain how this hobby benefits your life. Could I say that studying languages is my hobby? I think yes. I can say it because most of the time, even in the free time, I somehow bind my activities, even books, video games, TV shows, to the target language that I'm learning. So I think most of all, my hobby is about consuming language than watching something specific. Yes, yes, I could say it in this way. Of course I wouldn't and don't want to read, watch, or play something awful only because it's in English. I also have taste in the things, and I prefer good products. I mean, good games, good books, good movies, something that really appealing and interesting to me. But all the things I prefer do in English. Of course, not always it's easy for me. Sometimes I really spend time with a dictionary in order to understand what someone said or what someone wrote. But it's still interesting for me, and because I don't have any other hobby, any other activities that I do, I would like to point that I would like to say that my hobby is learning the language. Not only English, I also spend time in Polish. So let's say my hobby is learning languages, or spend time pleasantly in a way of learning in a way of learning language, because learning grammar, I can't say that learning grammar or working with study books is my hobby. I don't have a lot of pleasure from it, and usually I do it only because I need it, because I need to, and I use a lot of willpower and discipline just keep myself focusing on it. For me, it's more like a job. I mean, learning grammar and working with study books, but watching TV shows, speaking, writing something, and reading. Usually, for me, it's something very pleasurable activity. So, okay, I explain what my hobby is, how I see it. Let's say now that how long I've been doing it. I think I've already been doing, I mean, language learning for approximately 2 years plus 2 months. Yes, somewhere like this. Yeah, somewhere in this measurement, in this time. 2 years surely, 2 years surely, but a little bit more according to the present moment. Why I enjoy it? Uh, Honestly saying, at the beginning of studying process, at the beginning of learning language, I didn't enjoy it much. I just feel like this is a necessity. This is a necessity for me, and I have to do it. I have to more than I want to, and I just simply push myself. I think the first 3 months I really pushed myself to study language, and somewhere in between 3 months and half a year, I start actually liking this process of learning language. And after a year, surely I just fall in love with it, with this process of learning new words, speaking foreign language, working with accent, reading different things. I mean, different reading books, playing games, watching TV shows, films, all in a native language, in an original language. Yes, it starts brings me a lot of joy and self fulfillment. So I just started it. I just start doing it every time, as often as I can. Yes, as often as I really want, and that's how it works for me. Why I enjoy it? Sorry, I already explained why I enjoy it. Just because it just makes me feel good. It makes me happy. Makes me feel good about myself, and brings a lot of joy and interest in my life. Explain how this hobby benefits your life. I don't think I need to actually explain how English benefits my life. Um, Now, actually, in a career manner, he hasn't. I mean, it hasn't benefit my life yet. But in the future, for example, for a job that I aiming for, there is a requirement to have a B2 level of English, not lower. So English, just in the future, of course, English simply will help me to get the job offer that I dream about. Yes, it's just one of the requirements. That's how it will benefit my life in the future. But now it benefits me just in a way that just in a way that it gives me a lot of pleasure, um, self-consciousness probably, and it developed mine ability to think and learn. Yes. It just uh, it just makes my life better. Yes, in all ways that possibly you can think about. When you study something that you love, and it also bind to your career, future career, bind to your future, and will help you to achieve your dream, your goals. These things, this thing already benefits you a lot. There is no need even to look for benefits. You just feel that this is the right thing to do for you. Okay, part three, discussion questions. I assume this is C1 level of questions, the difficult ones for me now. But let's try to answer them. The question number four: why do you think hobbies are important for people's mental health? There is no need to how to say there is no need to prove it's there is no need to prove it. There is no need to talk about it somehow in a scientific manner. Its hobby is just a regular thing for a person that helps to as it helps to at first recreate, then relax and spend time with pleasure and interested. Put it in a simple manner, just a rest and relax after a hard work day, for example. Or even we can dive a little deeper. We can go a little deeper. In my perspective, as a hobby for a person, this is the right thing for them. This is in my in sorry. I just need to express it correctly. Just need to build this sentence correctly. In my perspective, uh, the hobby, the thing that person love do for free, just in a free time for making themselves persons making itself happy and spend time with pleasure. Yeah, the things that person love to do like a hobby. This is actually the thing that person should make its career. Yes, in my perspective, as a hobby, this is your hobby is your natural, authentic um 1 minute. I need to translate this word because I really don't know how to pronounce in English. Okay, we have no the proper word for what I wanted to say, but there is some words that are close to the meaning of what I want to say. And probably the vocation.
Vocation.
Vocation. Let's read what vocation mean. Vocation is a strong feeling of suitably for a particular career or occupation. Yes, yes, this is the meaning. Your hobby, the things that you love to do and you are ready to do for free, just to spend time pleasantly and doing something you love. This is usually if you can put it in some profession. I mean, if it's suitable for being a profession, this is your vocation, something that you should do, that you should authentic, something that you should do in life as a career, something that you should yes, do as a career, pay attention to, elaborate and nurture. This is your authentic vocation, your authentic calling. Yes, authentic profession. This is my point. Yes, and I'm sorry, I need to take a little rest. I will be after a couple of seconds. I'm back. I'm back. I'm ready to continue. And yes, I've stumbled on the question. I've stumbled on the question why do I think hobbies are important for people's mental health? Yes, let's answer on it again. Despite uh, um at first it help people to relax, to recreate, to fulfill themselves in life, to feel pleasure, to engage in something interesting for them. And in spite of all of this, I think the hobby is a natural, authentic vocation for a person to do. Yes. In my case, I'm building a career from my hobby. Of course, not very successfully at the moment, but I'm working on it. But um, all things that I do now, all things that I call my work, my job, is my hobby. That's why I can do this job um, daily, monthly, without a burnout, because this is the thing that I'm really interested in, engage engaged in, and want to improve myself in it. Yes, this is two aspects of why hobbies are important for people's mental health. Not only because this is the best way to recreate, but because it's also a best way to be professional or become professional in, and make your career from it in order to be the person, be the one of many, or be the one of not many people who are really keen on their job. Yes, and the very obvious thing, you spend most of the day on your job, and if it's your hobby, and if you're really interested in it and love it, this time would be for you not a tedious job time, but on the contrary, a quality time. Yes. On the contrary, it would be the quality time for you. And before I move to the next question, just I want you to hear something. Um, at first, word
Vocation.
vacation. That means a strong feeling of suitably for a particular career or occupation.
Vocation.
Yes, vacation, vacation. And also we have word
Vacation.
vacation. How I don't understand how I can distinguish them yet.
Vocation.
Vacation. I could put the
Vocation.
vacation. I could put the stress on the first syllable in a word vacation in order to make it distinguishable from
Vacation.
vacation. Yes, yes, I get it. The simple pronunciation, but in a case of vacation, we put the stress on the first syllable, and in a word vacation, that means holiday, we put the stress on the second syllable. Very tricky, very tricky words, very tricky vocabulary, but I need to remember it. So, sorry for a little pause. Let's move to the next question. If employers encourage the workers to pursue hobbies, how could it affect productivity? If employers encouraged workers to pursue hobbies, how could it affect productivity? Very, very controversial question, because if if employees doing the job that is actually not their hobby, then encouraging them to pursue their hobbies would actually would actually lead to would actually lead to leaving their job. Yes, would actually lead to leaving their job. So I think in this case, if employer would encourage it, that might not bring him the desirable results. But if there is, how to say it? But if there is, but if there is a compatibility, 1 minute, I need to Google. Ability to be comparable. Comparable. Comparable.
comparable,
Yes. Comparable. If it is comparable, compliable, compliable. Ah, compatible, compatible. Yes, if it's compatible things. So in this case, it would only, I think, if employer would encourage workers to pursue hobbies that is actually compatible to their main job. I think in this case it would affect their productivity only in the best manner, because as I explained earlier, that hobby is it is a best way to recreate and to restore power for the next day. So in this case, and even if the job that you do, it even improve your skills, it even improve your skills and quality as a worker, as a professional. So in this case, if the hobbies is compatible, it would affect positively. I mean, it would affect positively the employer, because employees would be work much more better and bring much more better results. But if the hobby is something controversial, is something that conflict with the main job, in this case, encouraging workers to pursue hobbies would only lead them to leaving their job positions. And that might be not very appealing to the employer. Yes, if there is a really, if they are really good professionals and workers, and if the employer don't want to lose them. Yes. Yes, this was my answer. I think I don't need to elaborate it even more. The next question. Do you think people today spend less time on hobbies than in the past? Why? Hard to say, because I have nothing to compare with. I think people always spend time for the hobbies. I mean, not all people, but the people who feel the need of doing something interesting for them, they usually always find time for a hobby. It doesn't matter what it is: painting, reading, studying, playing games. They always would find something to spend time with interest. So I think, but there is a but. According to past times, we all know that nowadays the work terms much more better than it was in the past, when all had the one, I don't remember, probably from 9 to 12 hours obligatory shift on the work, something like that, yes. And work usually was somewhere on the factory, the factory work that was very exhausting. So probably in that case, in the past, people don't have enough, even don't have enough energy after the job, after the shift to do some hobby. They most of time, I think, I suppose, always I assume, in the most of these cases, they probably wanted more rest than doing something else instead of work. But that's only my assumption. I'm not sure because unfortunately I don't actually keen on the past story times. As I said, all my attention now are concentrating on studying and what I want and can or would be able to will be able to achieve in the future. So my my understanding, my knowledge of the past times, it's I could say it's quite bleak. Yes, quite blunt and bleak. So I can't say nothing more about it. I just think that nowadays people have more, people in most cases, people have more free time in order to spend it on hobbies. Yes, and that's actually all the difference between nowadays and past. How can hobbies help people build social connections? Very easily. You can attend meetings by interest. You could attend some social games. You could attend, I don't know, book clubs. You could find the people that share with you interests, share with you hobbies, and in this way, it's much more easier to make a social connection when you have already something to talk about and something in common. That's how. If young people spend more time outdoors, what impact would it have on their lifestyle? Uh, okay. Who said that young people nowadays spend less time outdoors? I'm not actually agree with this statement. Of course, now we have computers, phones, internet. Yeah, there is a lot of opportunities. There is much more opportunities of what to do at home. But still, for example, even I see from the window how children are playing on the not on the street, but I forget how children play in a park, how people going for a walk, how teenagers spending time, not always quality time, but how teenagers spend time on the in the park, in the how to say it? Sorry, it's not a backyard, but uh, 1 minute. I need to Google. Not a ground. Uh, sorry. Okej. Po polsku to będzie plac albo boisko. Ale, but I can't translate it in English. Okay, sorry. Let's try. Hmm. Basketball court, pitch, ground, field, playing field. Yes, let's say playing field or playing area. Sports ground. Yes, I get it. I get it. Yes, I see the children spending time outside very often, despite the situations that I had in this place. Yes, I don't know. I think just people, despite the age, people just simply attracted to spending time outdoors more than indoors. Even I, as an introverted person with introverted character, prefer spend time. At least need, I needed this time spending outdoors too. I feel the huge lack of it now. So I think there is no huge impact. It's a question about technologies. Yes, I don't think the technology have huge impact that children actually or young people spend all their time indoors. No, they meet up with their friends. They going for a walk. They going on parties. They going to school, university, college. There is a lot of time to spend outdoors. Yes, and I don't think this question assumed that the people now spend time more indoors and that's some kind of problem. But I explained that I don't think that people now explain more time indoors and less outdoor. I think it's all in a general normal cases, it's all balanced as it was in the past. Yes, nothing drastically changed. Maybe a little more time young people spend by playing a computer, but video games can't replace real connection, can't replace real friends, real humans. So there is just an instinct in our body to go outdoors and make sub connections, spend time with friends. Yes, it's just a necessity that in general, normal people can't ignore despite their age. Yes, this was my answer. Do you think technology has changed the way people enjoy their free time? In what ways? Of course, the technology changed the time spending a lot. There is much more easier nowadays to get distracted by some video, advertising, game than it was in the past because we have our even if not a personal computer, even if not a TV, your telephone, your smartphone always with you. So you just simply, for example, you had a dinner, you don't have much plans for the evening, so you simply decided to lay down on a bed and accidentally or intentionally or already by habit you pick up your phone and unnoticingly spend from hour to three before the late evening just scrolling the Instagram or YouTube and yes, yes, that's how now the technologies can steal our time. But I could say that it's not a big problem. Oh, sorry, it's not about this question because I think I already answered how technology changed the way people enjoy their free time. Yes, they spend more time with technologies now. But it's not a bad thing. It might become a bad thing if you overusing it. If the technology start hindering you from living, yes, from pursuing career, from communicate with the real world, from building, yes, from building relations. If the technology steal your time and you can't control it, this is the bad things. But if you use it like an alternative, alternative for the book, movie, um, video game, or something else, this is absolutely normal. My point is that if you have a free time, it's your free time, and you're willing to decide what to do in this time. It's your decision, and I'm not the one to judge you. No one actually could judge you if you are not breaking the law at this moment. But we're not talking about this. We're talking about just spending the time with the telephone in this instance. So that was my answer. Yes, technology changed. Yes, technology has changed the way people enjoy their free time. Just drastically, not so much. It most of all, it just gives more, more. It just brings more variability, how to spend your free time. Yes, more opportunities you have now, more variations, and it's all. More variance. Yes, variability. Okay. The last question for this speaking practice: vacation, vacation. Okay, vacations, vacation, Sorry. The last question. Should schools encourage students to develop hobbies alongside academic studies? Why or why not? Um, I think, in spite of what I think about it and how I answer on this question, I think for a very long time already schools have been provided this developing of hobbies alongside academic studies. What I mean, in a university you have schools. I'm not sure about schools, but okay, let me finish this thought about universities. In university, you have a lot of clubs, different clubs, sport clubs, chess clubs, some art clubs. You always can, and actually, the university encourage you to choose what you want to do in your physical activity time. Yes, it's kind of a subject in university. That is how it was in my university. We have a physical cultural subject, and we could choose what we want to do, what club, basketball, uh, football, everything that we want. Yes, and that was, I think, the best decision that studying system in university make. I just pick up the things that I'm interested in. I pick up my hobby and I spend time on this physical activity with pleasure and profit for myself. But what about schools? It's hard for me to say about schools. Yes, before I start explaining my deeper thoughts, I say yes, it would be good if schools encourage children to develop hobbies alongside academic studies. It would be good. But in my schools, from my experience, I wanted to spend as less time as possible in school because it was a tedious, fucking obligatory, unpleasant experience for me. And I didn't want to spend extra time there and, I don't know, learn something. I just wanted to finish with it for today and go back home as fast as possible. Of course, this was a problem of my school. This was a problem of managing. This was a problem of studying program that we had at school. A lot of problems was there. A lot of problems was there. But in my case, I I just simply didn't want to, as I said, spend extra time there. Maybe if there was some pleasant atmosphere and I don't know, the teachers, the communities, environment was not toxic and encouraging to study, to be there, to interact with this system. Um, in that case, yes, I think it would be much more suitable just to create a simple structure, like in university, where you can have some subject, obligatory subject, like for example, we had a physical lesson, and on the physical I mean sport lesson. And on a sport lesson, you might have choose your favorite sport, for example, or you might choose some additional subjects for you, for example, like drawing or literature. Yeah, something like that. Make the school system a little bit more flexible and let the child to decide what they want to do in a school and put it in the way that it wouldn't be an extra time. It wouldn't be a time that actually are the time that actually is included in a daily studying lesson plan. Yeah, included in a daily lessons plan. I mean, for example, every day you have you have 5 subject, and one of these 5 subject, it's something that you choose for yourself. Yes, in this way it would work. It wouldn't be an extra time, obligatory extra time for the children, and it would be a little bit free will for them. Yes, and it would give them the opportunity to already start choosing and working towards their hobbies. Yes, picking up their hobbies. Yes, making up thoughts about their hobbies, understand what their hobbies are, and put attention to it. In this way, it might work. But in my school, it was only obligatory sheet in a absolutely toxic environment, so I didn't want to spend any extra hour there. It wasn't as I wanted. It wasn't as I would have want for my child to experience, surely. Okay, that was 10 discussion questions from ChatGPT. I've been talking for 1 hour. It's a good result for speaking practice. As usual, I think I did very well. I've done very well. First 3 question and the cue card, and I start crumbling. I start falling a little and stumbling on a part 3 discussion questions as usual, because this is a C1 level for me. But I think in most cases I expressed my point. At least I tried my best, and I really hope that I expressed the point about the question number 10, because it was kind of private question for me, and I shared a lot of my past unpleasant experience with you when I've been answering on this question. Yes. And I think, yes, I want to say it again. I think it would be really cool if schools make something like that, includes this practice, like giving children a little more freedom to pick up their own subjects, at least one of them. Yes, in a week or in a day. In a studying day, similar to similar to as university do it, similar to universities. Yes, it would be a good decision, I assume. And so I think this is all for today. Thank you for watching. Thanks me to trying, practicing, and continue working on my English. And see you in the next video. Goodbye. Have a good evening. Have a good rest, and recreate well, and spend time on your hobbies. Goodbye for today.